Hey everybody, Bill Murphy here with MMORPG.com, and we're back with another episode of MMOFTW. A little early or a little late, depending on how you look at it, since we missed last week because I've got a nasty case of poison ivy. However, this weekend I'm also going to be out of town at a friend's wedding, so I wanted to get you something now, early in the weeks, kind of make up for the fact that I missed one and that things are a little bit irregular around my life right now. So let's get right to some of the big MMO news from the past week and a half or so. First up is for Star Wars The Old Republic fans. For those of you who may or may not know, Star Wars The Old Republic is all about story. When it comes to the best parts of the Old Republic MMO, there is little doubt that the story is one of the leading tenets and the leading factors in what makes this game popular with fans. One of the reasons for that was, of course, the ever-popular Drew Karpyshyn, who wrote the stories for Mass Effect 1 and 2, some of the Dragon Age stuff, and of course a lot of the Star Wars The Old Republic stuff. Now, he did his own novels. He did a trilogy of novels himself, that are unrelated to any of the BioWare games, and now he's back with the flock at BioWare. He's working in BioWare Austin. He's heading up a lot of the story for the Knights of the Fallen Empire expansion, so I think there are some very, very good things in store for Knights of the Old Republic fans, Knights of the Old Republic fans, for Star Wars The Old Republic fans, so that's some really good news. It may seem like a little detail, just another hire or anything like that, but for those of you who are fans of Drew's work, you know that this is a pretty good sign of things to come from the story out of BioWare. And in Guild Wars 2 news, let's talk a tiny bit about the fact that, well, not a tiny bit, I'm ecstatic. The Engineers Elite Spec was announced last week exclusively on MMORPG.com, and that is the Scrapper. He is a hammer-wielding, drone partnering, smashing electric Mjolnir-wielding guy that just beats people in the face and uses thunder and lightning to decimate them, and plus he's got all these little tiny robots that fly around his head and help things and burn things and poison things, and it's fantastic. I can't wait to get my hands on it in the next beta weekend, but probably as you're watching this, if it hasn't already been announced already, we'll be hearing about the Druid spec, which is the elite specialization for the Ranger profession. It's the final elite specialization to be revealed. It is the first one that we actually had a name for all the way back at PAX South last year when they announced the expansion. They actually announced the Druid, and we've been waiting ever since then to find out what it's all about. So hopefully we get some good detail there. If you want to learn more about the Engineers Scrapper, you can just check out the description info below and click on that link, and it'll bring you right to our in-depth exclusive feature on the Engineer, and hopefully next week we'll be talking a little bit more about the Druid too. And in WildStar news, this week ahead of the free-to-play transition, which happens, believe it or not, at midnight Eastern on September 29th, that's next Tuesday, the WildStar site has been updated with a blog post that outlines the many quality of life improvements coming to the game with the free-to-play launch. Among those things are fast travel, otherwise what they're calling rapid transit, a sell junk button that is in the game, built into the game without having to use a third-party UI mod. There are new nav points, a new content finder, a new way of controlling the game that kind of mimics the lockdown mod, so if you want to have that sort of Terra third-person, third-person control, you can do that too. Whole bunch of stuff has actually been added to the game and to make it just easier, not easier to play, that's kind of a hard way to put it, but easier to get into and not be frustrated with WildStar. We've been playing it ourselves on the free-to-play beta shards, and it's really just come a long way. We can't wait for you guys to see it on the 29th when it comes out. I think most of you will agree that WildStar is a much better game these days than it was at launch. And continuing with the W's, we had WildStar and Guild Wars. Now we've got World of Warships news. It is officially launched, the third game in the sort of battle arena specialty that Wargaming.net corners the market on, really. This one is obviously, as the name implies, all about warships. You have these massive battleships with their own host of torpedoes and aircrafts and artillery and everything like that, and you play 7 versus 7 matches similar to World of Tanks and World of Warships. And it's out now. Our final review will actually be coming out on Thursday, so you might be reading or watching this video as the review's already out, so if that's the case, head over to the site and check out the review. For what it is, there are very few games that do what Warships does so well. It's highly polished, it's really feature complete, and it's just a lot of fun without having to require complete Twitch skills to compete. Like, if you're a guy like me and you're just not very good at shooters, you don't have to worry about hopping into Warships and getting sunk immediately. It's a lot slower paced game. It involves strategic thinking, some planning, some forethought. It's a really fun game. Check out our review on the website and give it a go. I mean, it is free after all, and there's no more pay-to-win mechanics in the wargaming games anymore, so it has our seal of approval there. And back to some serious MMO news, we have some EverQuest 1 and EverQuest 2 expansions on the horizon. More info will be coming on October 1st, which is not too long from now, but both the EverQuest 2 website and EverQuest 1 website have producers' letters. They are putting a healthy number of raids, level-agnostic stuff in terms of loot drops, a sprawling overland with loads of content and quests, advanced solo and heroic dungeons, all that good stuff. We hopefully will have a lot more details coming soon on these. Right now, this was just sort of an announcement about a forthcoming announcement, but believe it or not, EverQuest 1 and EverQuest 2 are both getting new expansions very soon, so we'll have more info on that in the coming days and weeks. And I guess that does it for this week. You know, we could probably talk a little bit more about the Destiny Taken King expansion launch, but I know that a lot of our followers don't really play Destiny. But let's just say, if you haven't played Destiny, or if it's been a while since you played it, you might want to check it out now. The Taken King is an exemplary expansion. It's exactly the kind of thing the game needed. Just like WildStar got a lot better after a year's worth of patches and updates, Destiny got so much better with the Taken King expansion. So if you, like me, got sick of it rather early on, I'd suggest giving it another look, especially if you have a $40 burning a hole in your pocket and you want to spend it on the expansion. That'll do it for this week, folks. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I'm Bill Murphy. You can follow us on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook at MMORPG.com without the dot. That was a motorcycle. Thank God for those guys. I'm so glad our neighborhood has them. You guys have a great week, great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Make sure to level up your MMO knowledge by visiting MMORPG.com, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and by following us on social media. To catch up on the week's biggest MMO news, watch our latest MMOFTW. And to see if there's a better MMO out there for you, watch one of our latest First Impressions videos. Thanks for watching.